Hello and welcome to my review of Higurashi Watanagashi. If you don't know who I am, my name is Aiden. I have a channel on YouTube, basically run around read-throughs, usually my first time reading through a series, and just giving my thoughts and reactions while reading through it. So if you are interested in a read-through of Watanagashi, the full thing is on the channel. Um, and after that I usually do reviews, so this is my review for it after I completed it. And since this is a mystery novel, I will be talking about my theories and some of my explanations to some of the unanswered questions or lingering questions in Watanagashi, but that will be a separate video, probably titled Watanagashi Theory video. I'm not sure yet. That will be released sometime September this month, hopefully. And for this video, I'll mainly be talking about um, kind of my thoughts and feelings of this visual novel, as an entertainment piece rather than going into the mystery aspect. So hopefully you enjoy that. First off, I want to say that I really did enjoy reading Watanagashi. I expected to because I thought Anatakushi was really good, so this was also really pleasant, which is nice. I thought this story had some really good character development this time. Like, obviously, you do expect it from Mion since she is I guess you would call her the cover girl of it, since she's on the icons and stuff. But yeah, we really got a good delve into Mion's character, sort of how emotional and how fragile her mental state is and the sort of problems. And we've seen like a lot of sides of her throughout the story, like her emotional side and sort of her transformation into this quote unquote demon, as she labels her by the end of it. And I thought that was really fun. And of course, I was gonna say that she's probably my favorite character, but we got some unexpected character development too, which was nice. I think Rena as a character really developed in a way that I didn't really expect, because it feels like she's almost a completely different character from the first one. She felt a lot more self-conscious, and I really liked that about her. Not to say I didn't like the Anatakushi one. Like, she was probably one of my, I think she was like my second favorite out of the club members. But it's good to see this different side of her, and it was really strong, and it felt like a really good emotional pillar for Taichi, which is interesting. Like, she pretty much solved a lot more than Taichi with her kitchen theory. She like basically kind of solved how the murder went down, right? And she had a really strong showing at the last chapter, kind of convincing Taichi to meet up with Mion. No, not meet up, convincing him to let her go with him, and also kind of dealing with the Uishi and almost interrogating Mion. It was really impressive to see Rena do that, because you don't really expect that. And it's also kind of scary to, like, it makes me feel like that Rena's probably the real Rena, like the more self-conscious, so it kind of makes it scary to think back about Anatakushi and all the spooky stuff. And it's also kind of, I don't want to say sad, but it's interesting about all the cutesy stuff, if that's more just an act rather than real, which I think it is. I also thought Keiichi developed quite nicely too. I didn't have a problem with Keiichi. I liked him well enough. He wasn't my favorite character, but I think I sort of liked him better because he wasn't going crazy. Like, it's always nice to see a crazy person's perspective in a novel. I think it's pretty interesting of how like whacked and twisted it can get. But I feel like this arc, um you kind of get to see his true like values and stuff. I mean, it showed in the first one, but he actually acted out through it, and there he had some really good moments. He had a really nice monologue in one of the chapters walking home. I think it was about his, oh, I forgot. It was kind of hyping himself up, or like, I think he was kind of confronting the problem where he was blaming everyone for the Watanagashi, or for the murders happening, because they kind of like, it was their idea to go into the storehouse, but he was kind of coming to the fact that he was part of the problem too, because he didn't try to stop it, right? And I thought that was a really good monologue. I wish I wrote a note on what chapter that was, but I'm sure you know it. Um, and obviously the final chapter, he was really cool. Like I didn't, when I think of cool, I don't really associate it with Taichi much. Especially after Anatakushi, like you usually think as a cool one is like Mion or even Rika. I think. I mean, Rena was pretty cool too, but he had a lot of brave moments, and I really appreciated that with Taichi. Like maybe it was even a coolness overload when Mion was about to torture, and I was like, I kind of made the comment in the video like, oh come on, this is a little too much, but I really like that, and I think it shows Taichi's true value. So I'm happy to get a lot of development for all three of the characters. But if I do have to pick like my favorite character of this chapter, I'm still gonna give it to Mion because I do think she's pretty much fleshed out completely. Like there's probably gonna reveal like there's still some lingering questions about her character and stuff, but I think the core of her character is pretty much revealed. While I think Rena actually still has a lot more room to develop because there's a lot of questions I have about her, and I think they just kind of reach like this sort of us. Well, I guess a little past surface level since Anatakushi was probably surface level. But for now, I think Mion's probably my favorite one in this chapter. I mean, Keiichi, like I said, I praise Keiichi, but as a main character, they always have more room to develop. They're either like kind of. No, they're never static, right? I think he's just gonna develop throughout all 8 chapters, so it's kind of hard to give it to Keiichi right now when you know that so much more is gonna probably change him throughout the stories. And of course, there's the other two characters, main characters, Rika and Satoko. I don't think they got too much development. Like, Rika is more just secondhand information about her, and I guess there's points, but it wasn't really like big development, and nothing happened with Satoko. I love you, Satoko, but I can't really give you my favorite if you're like, if nothing actually happened with you. Like the only new information. I mean, there was like good information, but it wasn't from her again, so you can't really count that as development. Like, I don't know. The only development really is her dislike for pumpkins, which was really cutesy. I love Satoko, and I'm pretty sure next chapter, since she is the cover girl, that there's probably going to be both character development on Rika and Satoko, which I'm super excited about. But for now, I'm just gonna have to, leave them sort of as a stale character. Again, all their moments were fun. Like I enjoyed seeing them, but you can't really put them above the characters that actually have, improved as characters, right? It's kind of unfair. Of course, there are other characters who had developed. I think Uishi sort of developed. I don't know if it's more character development or just more understanding his character better. I feel like it's more the latter, right? And who cares about the other characters? I guess. I mean, I care about them, but they're not too important. I mean, I guess like Tomotaki and Takano, I don't know if it's development. It's just learning more about them since there's so little information about them right now to make a judgment on that. Another another thing, I think this story this time had a lot of good. I don't know if they're called climaxes. I've been calling them climaxes, obviously, but there's usually just one climax for a story. Maybe just calling them mini climaxes. I thought they were very impactful, and I think there are a lot of them here. I think the most, and they were all different emotions, right? There was like the revealing Shion as a separate person thing. That whole scene transition was so good. I mean, I think the whole chapter was good, right? Because you got the fun the fun part with the trying to think. Oh yeah, so it starts from the Angel Mort buffet thing. You got the fun fight scene with Keiichi and the super otaku and him bringing up the game to like protect Shion from getting harassed, which was pretty fun. And then you did the super, super emotional part, and that was really, I feel like that was really effective on me. Like Keiichi finally getting it through his thick head about how he may have hurt Mion, and getting all those flashbacks, and like right at the end they show sort of a flashback from Mion's point of view, which doesn't actually you usually don't see a flashback from someone's point of view if you're not in their point of view. So obviously Teichi doesn't know about it. It's more for the viewer. And I thought that was so effective. Like I almost thought I was gonna cry hearing Mion cry to Rena. It was so sad, and it was a really nice I thought it was a really nice bait for to convince the readers that Shion and Mion were the same person, and I thought they would reveal that like closer to the end. But right after that, they reveal that they're two separate persons, which was a huge dunk, and it's sort of like you just can't help but laugh at that, right? I just thought that chapter was so. I guess in Watanagashi, I think they had some really good chapters, and that whole chapter was so good, right? I love that. Another really good mini climax, I guess, would be the chapter where Keiichi finds out that Shion's been missing for a while, despite him talking to Shion on the phone every night. I guess that I would call that the Mion roleplay chapter. Isn't that the? I think that's the second last chapter or the third last chapter. Um, I thought that was really good, especially like the conversation with Uishi revealing that where Keiichi almost feels like he's trying to go crazy to the actual phone call. Like the phone call scene was so good, right? Seeing sort of Mion get backed into a wall with Keiichi slowly revealing information. I thought that was very, very good. Um, very good phone calls in this one actually. It's kind of weird. Like there's also that of course, if people know me, I love it when Keiichi streams. I know that's sort of mean to it's sort of mean to Keiichi, but I think his voice actor is so good at it, right? And there's that really good one where he's arguing with Shion, you know, which is Mion, but about like I forgot how it goes, but he kind of like pops off when he hears about that they might disappear next, and he's kind of like blaming Mion, and he's it was just so good, right? It's like, how are you gonna take responsibility, huh? Like, there's just it was so good. I can't help but praise that. Um, and obviously the main climax that's the last chapter. I think it was pretty good. I After I read it, I was a little mad, but after like sitting on it a couple days and watching my video back, I'm like, hey, I pretty much enjoyed this fully until like the very end where Uishi drops those truth bombs, and it's not even really the game's fault. It's kind of my fault about how I'm thinking about themes. But even if you ignore that, I think it was a really good chapter overall. Again, I think the Mion reveal is a little obvious, but at the time, you can hear me also. I say that, but at the time, I was saying, oh, I really trust Mion right now. And I think they did a really good job making Mion seem like that this was gonna have, like, it was gonna end easily, I guess. So I guess you have to praise that, right? The whole, torture thing, and it feels a little like drawn over, I guess, because you have like multiple scenes with police reports, and it was kind of weird. Like when Taichi gets like stabbed by Mion, I was just like, oh my god, this is like a terrible death. But then it keeps going, and I'm like, what is happening? But I think I overall liked it. Again, Mion's crazy laugh is also pretty entertaining. I really like the scene actually after Taichi gets stabbed, and she's kind of like laughing, and she's like, "Yeah, I made it in time. I killed everyone I wanted to." I thought that was very well voice act. It sounded really nice to me. But overall, yeah, I really enjoyed They had some really, really outstanding chapters in this one. Um, as for club activities, I don't actually think there was a lot of memorable ones. Maybe I'm just forgetting them. I guess compared to Anatatushi. Like I remember the curry one, which was pretty funny. Then at the very beginning, they had the tournament, which I guess they never did settle the final battle for that, right? And then they had the one at the Watanagashi Festival, but I don't think that one was as fun as the one they did in Anatakashi, which isn't really too much of a critique, right? You can't have too much club activities one after the other because you probably want to use that time more, developing your story. But I'm just saying, I don't think they were as good, but it's not that big of a critique, right? Um, I guess we can go to music, though this probably wouldn't be too much of a too long of a section because I don't know any of the songs. I mean, it was pretty much the same. Again, I used the updated OST and soundtracks. My bad. I swear next time I swear I'll use the original one since people always say it's better. Though despite that, I still really enjoyed it. It was a lot of. I think there was a couple different songs that weren't in Anakatsushi. Like I think I had like two songs I really liked from Anakatsushi, and they added another one. Like I really liked some of the somber songs. I don't know their names, and I know that names could sometimes give off spoilers. I think someone said to me once for it, so I'm not gonna really like look it up. And of course, I don't like looking anything Higurashi related because I can get spoilers accidentally. I know one of them's called like IU, I think, which is one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite, honestly. They did a really good job syncing that up with the torture scene where Teichi's like pleading with Miyana to fight the demon or whatever. I thought that was a really beautiful scene. They also did like I mean they're really I think in general they're pretty good at syncing the music with the scenes, right? They did that pretty good in Anakatashi. But in this one they also they made some of the scenes have like really overpowering loud music that almost drowns out the voices. I know some people were complaining that they couldn't even hear my voice, and because I didn't want to lower it because I was so immersed, right? But I'll fix it next time. I kind of realized after that I could have just raised my voice and not lowered it. But you know me, I'm not the smartest guy, I guess. But yeah, I think that was a pretty nifty way of using it. I don't think they did that in Kakashi. I could be wrong though, but that was cool. As always, the music's pretty good in this game. I'm kind of excited to see what the original is like for the next arc. But yeah, I'm satisfied with the music. I guess I can talk about the art. Obviously, I don't really want to talk about the sprites again. I don't think there was any new sprites, right? Um, yeah, it's pretty much the same sprites from Anakatsushi. Obviously, Shion as a character got a sprite, but it's not really new, right? It's just pretty much just change it from Mion's. But obviously, they look nice. If you haven't watched, I use the PS3 sprites. Just because that's how I read Umineko, so it's sort of reminiscent because they look pretty similar. Nothing against the original or even the Steam ones. I actually think the Steam ones look pretty good, especially when you compare them to the Umineko Steam ones. I think they look miles better. But yeah, we did that new background. There's a really nice shot of Hinamizawa at the dark where after I think Rika and Satoto disappeared and Keiichi was kind of groveling at the ground, crying. They had a really nice scrolling thing. I think that was pretty cool. They had a nice swamp shot too. I was talking about like CG pages. Was there one I really liked? Um I don't think there was one that was super creepy. Like even the one where like Keiichi turns around with me on smiling. That one actually didn't get me as much as some of the other ones from Monotakushi, I think. I'm trying to think if there's any outstanding ones. I mean, there's a one where Takano is explaining demons and they showed a red demon, but I don't know if I should say that one since it's kind of out of place. But you gotta praise the CGs, right? They always look good. Well, most of the time. I guess the final one was actually pretty nice with a Keiichi and a bloody Mion behind him. I thought that looked pretty cool. But yeah, again, I'm not an artist. I think it's probably like the least qualified thing I could be talking about, other than me saying that I liked it. Cause I do like it, right? Yeah. I guess I should compare this to Anakatashi. I guess. I mean, I don't have to, but I'll do it anyways. I think I generally liked this arc better than the Anakatashi arc. Um, I understand. Like, I feel like it had a really different feel. Like I know some like I one of the commenters said that Anatakashi was his or her favorite arc, and Watanagashi was the least, which is interesting. Obviously, my view might change after I read everything, but I'm guessing because Anatakashi as an original, it's a lot more mysterious, and you don't really know what to expect, and I can understand why people like that. But I guess I'm kind of the opposite, where I really like Watanagashi because you get a lot of answers and more information, and then you can use that information to answer or to explain some of the stuff from Honor Kakashi, or at least better, or at least try to explain some of the stuff. So I really enjoy that process, but I can understand liking Honor Kakashi better for that reason. Um, um, I was trying to say something else with it, but I kind of blanking. Oh, what was I trying to say? Yeah. I don't think like I said, like you go into Anakatsushi not knowing what to expect. I kind of didn't get like that complete blind feeling because I had a vague idea of what to expect, just because Higurashi is like known for its gory, violent stuff. So I kind of expected something like that to happen. Plus, I did read Umineko before, so I kind of had a vague idea of what might happen. So maybe that takes away from the Anatakashi experience, and I might have felt a lot different about it if I had like zero information on it. So there's that, I guess. Also, I really liked how thematically it felt. Or I don't know, is that even the word? I don't know. It had a really different feel to it, where Anatakashi was super mysterious, while in Watanagashi, it more or less had a lot of the questions answered, at least, or it gave like a lot of information. And then I think the cheese part was at the end, where Uishi drops that bomb, and it kind of sort of puts a hole in this because now there's a massive blaring question that isn't answered. But I don't think that should take away from this. Whereas that a lot of the questions have been answered, but these answers, if you actually look back to Anakakashi, don't help too much, which I think was a really smart thing to do. Like, I really appreciate this. And I also feel like if you compare this to Anakakashi, it really feels like they were going for the humans did everything in this one. Like, I don't think there's any sort of curse involved in this one, while Anakakashi might have had a curse in it. Or, like, in my theories last time, I kind of said that there's like four different groups. Like there's an outside group plus Uishi plus humans plus the church, or specifically villagers plus the church. I think maybe this could have been the villagers arc, and I mean I'd have to see the next one. But maybe the next arc could be like, and the first one would be the curse arc, and then the next one might be the outsider. Or I don't think I'm spoiler. I'm removing Uishi from one of the categories because I really don't think he's too involved. But but yeah, I could go like that, sort of like explaining different possible groups of suspects. And I don't know if that is a thing because it's kind of personalized, as people could sort of um have their own groupings and stuff. And obviously this is my specific ones that I made, but I feel like if I can come to this conclusion, probably a lot of others can too. So, because I'm not that smart. But yeah, I think, and other reasons why I liked Watanagashi, or some of the ones I explained, I really liked the character development. They had some really good chapters. Not to say that Watanagashi or Anatakashi didn't. Like, I still really, really love was it the last chapter? I don't even know. The chapter with Rena chasing Kaichi. I thought that was such a good scene, right? And Keiichi like screaming at her about Rena's just casually walking, and Keiichi's like almost about to run. It was so good. But I just like it better for now. For now, people things can change in the future when I look back to it, but yeah, I think I personally liked it better. I guess I can talk. I know you're not really supposed to compare Umineko to this, and I'm not really connecting them at all. But I really feel like I guess that they have a lot of really similar themes, and that's it's not like that's a problem. I think authors have preferences about what themes they want to hit, especially since this is like all one When They Cry series, right? Maybe his other works not related to this won't use those themes, but like I almost can't help not talk about it since some of them are so eerily similar that they kind of made me laugh when I realized them after thinking about it. I guess the big one is how people perceive like issues differently. Obviously, talking about how Mion was really hurt by Teichi not giving her the doll, while Teichi like barely noticed it. And obviously, this relates to the Beatrice Battler problem, and that's like such a similar theme. I was like, oh my god. When I thought of that, I was like, oh, it's really similar. I guess he really likes that. It's interesting, right? I don't. It made sense. So yeah, I mean, I just wanted to mention that. Obviously, another one is the moving corpses. I know, didn't they do something with that? And it was like kind of hard to reason it out. Or I vaguely remember that. I might be wrong about that though. And obvious, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that. I thought it was pretty cute that they did the same thing. I think I also did that in some. There's something really there in Honor Takushi too, right? But not saying again, not saying it's a bad thing. It's kind of enjoyable. Um, is there anything else I want to say? I think I pretty much covered what I wanted to. Like I said, there wasn't anything I really disliked about this, except maybe the ending of it, and that might not be even the story's fault. That might be my fault. But yeah, I enjoyed Watanagashi. I thought it was a really fun read. I would obviously recommend it to anybody who enjoys, I guess, the genre. I guess I wouldn't recommend it to someone who wouldn't be comfortable with this sort of violence. I guess is probably the thing you should watch out for. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to read the next one. This definitely raised it, and I hope you enjoyed this sort of review slash discussion thing. Again, if you want more content, especially on Higurashi, feel free to check the channel. I have another review on Akatsushi, and I have both of the playthroughs out, and in the future I will be doing probably all of them. I mean, I definitely plan to unless something happens where I can't, but yeah, so I'll do the third arc, which name I don't remember since I haven't really looked at it. Soon. There should be also a theory video soon, and hopefully I'll see you again. Also, I read random other visual novels if you're interested. Anyways, I hope you had a good day, and I will hopefully see you one day. Bye!